So here's this first session on self-awareness and management of self. In this session one, we're going to be looking at self-awareness and self-reflection. So the aim for this session is to know how to be self-aware. By the end of this session, you'll be able to explain the concept of self-awareness, describe the potential impact of your own behaviour on others, describe how to adapt behaviour to improve the impact on others, and explain the importance of emotional intelligence in leadership. So let's get started. So first, let's establish, what is self-awareness? After watching the video, you should have found some motivation at least, or have found out some ideas that it's around being successful. It's about having a realization of your personality, your traits, your strengths, your weaknesses, what your thoughts and beliefs are, what your emotions are and how they affect you, and what your motivations are, and importantly, the impact that those can have on other people as well. And we'll talk about that more later, what people see of you and how they react to that. People often say, why bother? And I've had managers say to me, this is all soft and fluffy and it's about being in touch with your inner self. I'm here to be a boss, not a social worker. Well, the more self-aware we are, the easier we're going to find it to understand other people. And when I say understand, I mean what they might be doing, what they might be thinking, detecting how they perceive us, and what their reaction is going to be. And that's got to be useful in getting the best out of people. Lots of us presume it's just a natural gift and we assume that we can all do it and we all have a sense of self-awareness, but that is not always the case. And even if it is a natural trait of yours, then practicing it and reviewing it and being aware of it and making sure we're using it to the best effect is the way to go. It's about being self-aware, creating opportunities for us to make changes or adjustments to our own behaviour, and basically continuously improving ourselves. And that can have a massive impact on the team we work with. We all start to develop our self-awareness, our own personal thoughts and interpretations change as we get older. We start at a very young age. Very young children will stand right next to somebody and stare, no thought about how it's impacting on the person they're staring at. But later on, we start to realise that if we stand and stare close to someone or get too close to somebody, people might react to that. And then we start taking it back. We become a bit more aware of our public self-awareness. Children learn about feeling nervous. They start to recognise that feeling in their stomach, or what we call butterflies, means they're nervous. So that's a bit of private self-awareness. So as we're developing, we're starting to realise the signals of how people react to us and how we react to the things that are happening to our emotions. Some people develop this quicker than others, some people struggle with it, and some people probably overdevelop it and not to their advantage. They become too sensitive to what people think about them and what they do. It's all about changing our mental state, about recognising our emotions, our behaviours, our attitudes and our traits, and that's about increasing your emotional intelligence, a major factor in achieving success. Are we happy with the term emotional intelligence? We're going to look at it in more detail later, but it refers to the ability to manage and control his or her emotions and the process of that ability to influence or control other people's emotions using yours. So influencing people's emotions is a very important skill in leadership. Said to have 5 main elements in emotional intelligence: self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills, and we'll come back to those. At work, we're talking about building relationships, showing appropriate leadership and communication in all sorts of areas. We'll look at those in different units as we go through the award. It's about doing those things. In doing those things, we need to recognise how to self-regulate ourselves, show empathy, and have the social skills to sort of work with people. And as we start to build those skills in our mind, we start to recognise those things and develop, they would say, that intelligence of when, what to do and when not to do things, and how they're going to impact and how we get the best out of other people. Right then, so we're going to do our first little activity. I want us to think about what self-awareness and what reflection mean. There's a Word document on there that you can download, and then you can put your thoughts in, upload them, and we'll use those to refer back to later on, or you can do when you look back at what you thought then and what you think later on. So it's just putting down some quick words, some bullet points, whatever comes into your head about. And then I want you to watch the video, How Leaders Become Great. It's quite long, it's about 30 minutes, but if you can make some notes as you go through that, we'll cover some points about what the speaker had to say when we come back in the next session.